up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe, Day Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Want to give a big ups to all of my subscribers. Again, I want to thank all of my ladies, all of my guys who have been rocking with me from the beginning since I started my channel back in 2017. Again, I want to appreciate all of my A1s from day ones that's still loyal to my channel. Those of you who have recently subscribed, I welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. Those of you who are viewing my content for the very first time, and you like what you hear, you like today's content, please make sure that you like, you share, subscribe, and join the family. So for all of you who are not aware, I am going to be starting another segment that I'm going to be adding to my channel known as the Melanated Minds Matter. Is going to be my segment specifically for black men who need a space in which they can share personal issues, whether if those issues are pertaining to mental illnesses, mental health issues, or just general health issues. I really don't think there's a space for black men, a therapeutic space for black men where black men can be transparent and share their issues, whether if it's emotional, financial, mental. There's not enough spaces for black men to be able to really let their guard down and be transparent and discuss issues that black men or men in general go through on a daily basis, whether those issues are something as simple as just being able to provide for their families, being able to be supportive in marriage, or whether they're dealing with issues in marriage, just everyday common struggles for black men. There's not enough spaces where black men can share their personal struggles without being considered or judged as a simp, because they're being transparent and they're expressing their feelings. Because contrary to what many don't want to believe, there are a lot of black men out there that are struggling with being able to express themselves freely, especially in the black YouTube sector, where masculinity is based on how much money you have or how much success you have. And a lot of these things are really myths, because money doesn't define your success. How many college degrees you have doesn't define your success. You can be successful just being a good ass husband. You can be successful just being a good father. You can be successful just being a good friend. But again, the masses within the black YouTube sector is basically redefining what they consider as masculinity, and it's gotten to a point now in which masculinity is being based more on image than actual being a man. Everything is based on how much money you spend, what kind of design labels you wear, how many women you got. And it's so unfortunate that there's so many men in the black YouTube sector that have a lot of power to get rid of these myths that masculinity is based on these things, and instead they are promoting masculinity based on these things. And this is the reasons why you have so many men that are struggling with masculinity, because there's so much of the wrong definitions that are being promoted that defines men as men. Now, I decided to start the Melanated Minds Matter, a therapeutic space for black men, because ever since the death of DMX, a black man who has been struggling with a lot of inner demons. Those demons was drugs, those demons were women, those demons was issues from his childhood, things that a lot of black men go through. So anyway, I'm going to be doing a segment, Melanated Minds Matter, a therapeutic space for black men. I have I'll say probably 6 to 7 solid black men who I personally handpicked and selected to be a part of the Melanated Minds Matter committee. And I know these guys are definitely going to be solid. They're going to bring the positive energy that a lot of black men who severely need support needs. So trust and believe when I say that I think this is going to definitely be something that is very well needed. So for any of my male subscribers, if you are interested in the Melanated Minds Matter, I'm going to be putting in my community tab, I'm going to be notifying all of you, letting you know when I'm going to be doing my first show, which my first live stream panel, which is going to be on June 16th. That should be on a Saturday, and I'm going to have six black men who I personally pick, who I know are intelligent, who fit the purpose that I am trying to promote. So trust and believe. I think it's going to be really, really good space for black men to be able to discuss therapeutic issues. The first topic that I'm actually going to be talking about is going to be in relation to married men that are struggling, trying to uphold a very extravagant lifestyle to appease their wives, the stress and the struggle that they go through, working jobs to maintain a certain lifestyle because they want to please their wives. But meanwhile, they're miserable. They're under a lot of pressure, things that their wives and their children, their in-laws have no clue of what they got to go through in order to keep accommodating that extravagant lifestyle. And it's a lot of married men that are stressed out, trying to maintain an image that they really can't afford. And it's very unfortunate that there's not enough of women who are not empathizing with the fact that your husband is just a human being. You have to realize when he is way in over his head with his finances, and it's a lot of women that look past things of that nature because they're too busy trying to impress their friends, trying to impress their families. But meanwhile, their marriage is in turmoil because their husbands are trying to financially provide a lifestyle that they really can't afford to provide. But anyway, so be on the lookout for that. That's going to be coming up soon. The Melanated Minds Matter, a therapeutic space for black men. And again, I got six solid guys on my team that's going to be on the live stream panel because, again, in order for me to be able to discuss issues with black men, it's only right that I have black men on my panel who can relate, who can also add advice from a masculine point of view, because again, I'm a woman. I cannot relate 100% to the struggles of what men go through. So we're going to make sure it's very well balanced. I think it's going to be a good look. So definitely, y'all be on the lookout for those of you guys who plan on viewing my segment and you may want to ask certain questions. You're welcome to go. You use different accounts because I understand sometimes when you are very transparent, people know who you are and you ask certain questions or whatever, it's going to be people in the chat room that may judge you or want to basically hold whatever you share. They want to use that against you, just to try to attack you. So if you have to troll, as long as you're trolling respectfully, and you have to come in under a different name to be transparent about certain things that you would like to discuss with me and the melanated squad. You're welcome to do that because I get it. I know the YouTube streets are brutal. So anyway, those were my announcements that I felt I needed to share with y'all before I went into today's content. So with no further ado, I thought it was imperative that I talked about this. I wanted to talk about um, the downfall of most successful content creators, because I'm starting to notice that it is becoming the trend how a lot of content creators become so successful, how their platforms really blow up, their platforms really start to skyrocket, and it becomes a very huge success for many. And it's not that I'm knocking success. I think it's actually a wonderful thing. It's something that every content creator dreams of, is to have a successful platform. No more, no different than a rapper who has that first hit that is playing on every radio station, and everybody's downloading it, off of Napstar and um, Amazon, or, you're writing your first book as a successful author and your books are selling out on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Success, I think, is a very wonderful, wonderful thing when you finally have reached the mark that many others have not been able to accomplish, or you just reached the mark, period. You reached a certain plateau, all your hard work is paying off. The struggle, the starting from the bottom, when you have finally reached that point and arrived, it can be a very, very exciting thing. It can be a very great thing, a positive thing. Like I said, especially when you struggle so hard to meet a certain plateau, because the truth of the matter is, you have some content creators, um, they can get lucky and have their platform just blow up overnight, and then you have others who have been in the YouTube game for years and still have not reached that plateau of getting a certain amount of views. They have not reached that plateau of earning a certain amount of subscribers. And at times, as a content creator, it can become very discouraging when, especially when you know you're giving content that's authentic, that's genuine. And even with all of that, you have not reached that climax. You have not reached that plateau yet. And here it is. You have other content creators who, just up their foot through the door, haven't even had a platform in a good 3 to 4 months, and already are surpassing you in views, are surpassing you in subscribers, and it can be very discouraging. And what tends to happen as a content creator, when you see, when you're witnessing other people that are doing something similar to you, and you're seeing their success just surpass yours, either one or two things starts to happen to a content creator if you're not strong-minded, if you're not patient, and if you're not willing to just wait on your turn with your success. What ends up happening is you're either going to find yourself mimicking those who are successful, so you can reach the plateau that they have reached, or B, you end up beefing intentionally with the unknown, so you with the known, so you can be known. A lot of content creators will do that when they get desperate for views, when they get desperate for recognition, and they get tired of consistently being overlooked. What tends to happen is they will pick fights, or they will beef with other content creators that are either preaching the same narratives, or either are going against the narratives that they preach. That's why you have a lot of male content creators who are trying to become successful. They'll go and attack the black female content creators who are successful, or vice versa. You have the black female content creators that have struggle platforms that will try to attack the brothers who have successful platforms. Or it don't even have to be so much gender war. I've seen other black men with struggle platform channels attack black men who have successful platforms, and vice versa. So it's not just a gender war thing, because I see black women, black female content creators bashing other black female content creators. I see black male content creators bashing other black male content creators. So it's not just a gender war thing, that black men against black women and vice versa. So what tends to happen is, again, when you know you are gifted in your craft, and you know that you are gifted in your knowledge and your wisdom, and it is not being overlooked, it's not being appreciated, it's not being accepted, you will find yourself doing desperate things to get that clout, which we know as clout chasing. But I've gotten to the point now, I think clout chasing is such a 20 word. I decided to come up with my own word, and I basically got to the point to where I realized we have something a little bit stronger than clout chasing. And we already know what clout chasing is. Clout chasing, basically, you're willing to compromise your morals. You're willing to lose your originality just to get close to individual that is way more successful than you, that is way more popular than you. You're willing to ride their waves. You're willing to get as close as you can to these individuals. That way you can borrow or rent some of their spotlight, and hope that you gain enough to where your channel will flourish just as successfully as theirs. So you have a lot of content creators that are getting to the point now to where they are straying away from originality, and they're more focused on popularity. And what I'm starting to notice is that you have a lot of black men and black women that are content creators. When they first started off, all they ever preached about was, how they're going to be different. They're not trying to clout. They're not trying to build their fan base off of other people's names. It always starts off like that. Whenever a content creator first starts a channel on YouTube, that is the only time they're real, they're authentic, they're original. because at that time they're more focused on just doing the content. Earning recognition, earning popularity, earning clout is not the main focus when you originally become a content creator. But what tends to happen is the reason a lot of content creators are straying away from originality and are now focused on popularity is because when you have been doing your channel, your platform for a while, what tends to happen is your views become like money to you. And we all know, even if you own a business or you've never owned a business, but basic common sense when you own a business, for instance, let's just say you want to be a restaurant owner. Let's make it simple. You want to be a restaurant owner. Um, you may start off with a menu where you may do some very basic dishes, and those dishes may gain you a couple of customers, but it comes a point in which you realize that if you've been getting the same amount of customers for the same amount of time, your customers aren't growing. You're not getting a lot of people to notice your restaurant. And here it is, somebody right across the street from you, they just started a new restaurant. So now you're in competition with this new restaurant owner. Let's say you have an Italian restaurant where you serve Italian food, because Italian food is something you're good at. You're good at pasta dishes. You're good at Italian food. That is something that you specialize in. So therefore, your restaurant, you serve Italian food. Well, here it is. Like I said, you have a new restaurant owner who done built their restaurant across the street. They're doing soul food, okay? And you're starting to notice that you're not getting a lot of customers to come to your spot, to your Italian restaurant like they used to. Because the soul food restaurant you notice across the street is popping. They're getting way more customers than you. Their lines are longer than yours. At some point, it starts to discourage you. And you're realizing that no matter how much you promote your Italian food, no matter how much you try to add certain extra little specials to the dishes, you try to add more desserts, you try to add more of a variety to keep your customers interested, everybody just wants to keep going to this new soul food restaurant across the street because this person decided to do something totally different from what you did, and you're noticing that what they're doing is drawing way more customers. So now you're starting to feel defeated. They got a soul food restaurant where it's attracting more people because they have more of a variety, or they knew how to finesse their restaurant. They knew how to decorate the outside of the building to make it more appeasing. They knew how to put nice chairs and nice dining tables. They knew how to make their atmosphere more appealing to customers. Here it is. Wow, you're trying to be true to you. You're focused on just serving your Italian food because you're doing it from the heart, but you did not go all out like they did. Your Italian restaurant may be a regular building with basic tables, basic chairs. Your food is good, but you didn't really decorate. You didn't do a whole lot to your restaurant to make it appealing because, again, you felt your food, your recipes were original enough in which you didn't feel the need to have to do all of that. Now, this new restaurant owner knows that in order for him or her to appeal your customers, they got to do something different that you have never done. They basically they went all out. They got expensive tables, expensive tablecloths, expensive napkins, to where the restaurant looks just totally more extravagant and up to date. And we know the problem is we live in a world where image gets a lot of people over. Your restaurant food could be garbage, but if the atmosphere looks good, people will go. Me personally, I have gone to some hole in the wall barbecue restaurants where they food was off the chain. Okay, the table may have been raggedy. The atmosphere may have been a little more out of date. These cooks come out looking like they 70, 80 years old. Looking like they old enough to be your great great grandparents. They got these old fashioned tables that have been there since the 70s, but the food was hella good, slamming. Here it is, this new restaurant. Yeah, it has the new state of the art where you could charge your phones at the table, and they got the flat screens, but the food is garbage. They plates are $80 and they give you this little scoop of mashed potatoes and this piece of meat that's no bigger than the thumb on your finger, but the thumb on your hand, but they charging almost $60-$70. Where here at the mom and pop restaurant, you can get a good bit of food on your plate for $15.99. You know what I'm saying? So um, this is what tempts a lot of content creators to switch up their style when they see they're not getting the same type of attention that other content creators who gained instant YouTube fame are receiving. It can be very discouraging. Now, what a lot of them, they're not going to admit that they feel some type of way when here it is a content creator who's only been in the game for 3-4 months, or once upon a time was in the game, but they wasn't near as big and successful as they are now. And here it is, they're getting all the success, they're getting all this notoriety and attention. It can be discouraging. So what tends to happen is you have content creators who will lose and leave behind their originality. And what they'll try to do is they become YouTube vultures. They try to feed off the success of the most popular content creators. And there are several ways that many content creators are doing this. And if you're not woke, if you're not reading in between the lines, you won't pick up on certain things. You'll easily be bamboozled. You'll easily be manipulated if you do not pick up on a lot of these content creators, the things that the desperate measures they're taking, but they're doing it discreetly. They're doing it in a slick, low-key way in which a lot of their subscribers are not going to catch on. But a lot of content creators, again, are moving away from originality because they want the popularity. So what a lot of these content creators are starting to do when they feel like their channel is not progressing as quickly as they would like, 9 times out of 10, one of the things they usually do is they will consistently give props to the most popular content creators. Now, my thing is this: if it's not so much about popularity, because a lot of them will try to fight this case and say, well, no, that's not true. What's wrong with shouting out popular content creators? What's wrong with giving them props? What's wrong with showing them love? The problem is very evident when you're only showing love to the most popular content creators. You're not showing love to those who got struggle channels or who have a smaller platform. Even Ray Charles can see, once you see a content creator is only shouting out who's hot right now, who's hot at the moment, that's already a huge red flag that they're becoming a YouTube vulture. They're trying to feed off another individual's success. And what better way to do it than to shout out that person, to give that person that knowledge? Hey, I want to give a shout out to this person. I want to give a shout out to so-and-so. I want to give a shout out to this person's platform. Okay, that's cool, but it's obvious that you're a clout chaser because you're only giving shout outs to the most popular content creators. Now, what about the small content creators, who've been rocking with you or who are well aware of you? Oh, you don't acknowledge those. You know why? Because you have strayed away from originality and you're more focused on popularity. Because if it was all about original material and being authentic to who you are and your brand, you'll be willing to shout out anybody. You'll shout out anybody who has good content. You're not just going to shout out somebody who's popular and who's hot right now, who's on top right now. And a lot of you content creators make it so obvious that you are just that insecure about your channel not growing fast enough because now you're shouting out the big dogs. And you haven't been doing that before. All of a sudden you're doing it now. And what tends to happen is when you constantly shout that person out, eventually they will catch on and feel like, okay, this person, the word travels around, because in YouTube is like a big maze. Nothing is ever secret. And eventually, depending on if you kissing that person's ass enough, you sucking up to them enough, they'll shout you out back. And that's how you earn your clout. When you shout out a popular content creator long enough, eventually the word will travel to them, and then next thing you notice, hey, they're doing the same thing. Hey, I want to give a shout out to so and so. I want to give a shout out to so and so. Now their followers are going to go to your platform because the subscribers are so easy to manipulate. All it takes is a popular content creator to just say, hey, go check out such and such channel. That person's channel could be garbage, but because the person who's hot and popping right now is saying, go check out that person, people are going to go check it out just cause, you know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of content creators. That's the desperate measure they're using now. I'm going to shout out the biggest YouTuber, the most popular YouTuber, the most popping hot, off the charts content creator, and hopefully eventually the word will travel around. I'm showing this sister love, I'm showing this brother love, and eventually they're going to let their subscribers know that I'm showing them love, and now I can earn some of their followers again. This is a desperate measure because you're feeling like your channel isn't growing fast enough. So what better way to make it grow quick by jumping on the bandwagon, becoming a YouTube vulture, feeding off somebody else's success by shouting them out. People, a lot of content creators are doing this. This is the new manipulative strategy to earn clout, to earn recognition. So you have a lot of content creators. That's what they're doing now. This is the new level of desperation people are taking to earn clout, to get to earn a bigger platform. Also, and this, it could be good, but then you also set yourself up for failure at the same time, though, because and I'm going to go more into that. That's why I'm calling this the downfall of the content creator part one, because I'm going to break this down in so many different elements. We're going to really digest. I want y'all to digest this recipe. I want y'all to really take in this content that I'm giving y'all, and I guarantee you start reading in between the lines, y'all are going to pick up on a lot of things that I'm telling y'all, because it is becoming more and more obvious how far content creators are going to earn clout. There's no morals now. There's no rules. There's no standards. People are willing to go to whatever extent they got to go to earn growth to their platform. And if it means feeding off another YouTuber, getting close to the popular guy, the big guy, to earn recognition, a lot of them are doing that. So this is why those of us who have struggle platforms, don't be discouraged, because you got the same thing too, but you just got to be willing to do what they do. You got to be willing to kiss ass. You got to be willing to do some dick riding, whatever they call it. You got to be willing to give people titles. You got to call them your family, give them titles. This my brother. Make the biggest YouTuber your savior. Give them all these props and praises. Make them your cult leader, and your channel will grow fast too. But if you're not in the business of dick riding or asking or whatever, your channel is gonna struggle a little, because you're doing it authentically. You're not trying to put anybody else up there to earn to speed the progress of your channel. So another downfall of a content creator is when you attack a specific group of people. There's not enough content creators that know how to be balanced. They are consistently and constantly attacking a specific group. The group they attack may specifically be black women. The group they attack may specifically be black men. The group they attack may be specifically white people or gay people or whatever. But what a lot of content creators are not understanding is, when you keep addressing the same topic over and over and over, you want to keep addressing the same group of people. Keep in mind, you will gain a large audience if the group you're attacking is hated or least desired by the majority. So In other words, if you're going to do content that's going to be about bashing black men, and that is all you discuss day in and day out, is black men ain't this and black men ain't that and black men are garbage, or black women is the bottom of the total pole, black women are not attractive. You just want to keep addressing the same group of people. Your topics change, but the group who you address never changes. One minute you're talking about black men that are deadbeats, then next day you're talking about black men that are on the down low, or either you're talking about black single mothers, and then you turn around and talk about black single women. You're not um changing. You're not balancing your content. You're constantly addressing the same group of people. What tends to happen is in the initial beginning, yeah, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to be drawn to you for the fact that you are attacking a group that the majority aren't really fond of. However, what tends to happen eventually is that one or two things usually will happen. Either one, those certain group of people that you keep attacking will all come together to either shut you down, start flagging your channel, start trolling your channel, or in most cases, what a lot of them are doing now when you attack a certain group of people, they start digging up your old skeletons. They will start, when you keep attacking the same group of people, it makes people curious as to why is this man or this woman always why are they consistently doing content attacking or addressing only a specific group. What tends to happen is you make people curious when you want to keep attacking a certain group. So eventually what people start doing is they will go into a graveyard and start digging up old skeletons. It does not matter how far back, how old those bones have been there. It don't matter if those bones have been there 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, or 40 years. You make people want to start digging more into your life, into your past, into things that really absolutely have nothing to do with the individual you are today, because you may be a changed man, you may be a changed woman, but when you keep poking the bear, and in the case of content creators, when you keep poking the same group of bears, what tends to happen is these bears will start coming together and attacking you because their strength in numbers. Now, what a lot of content creators are understanding is it don't matter how many people love you and support you. You're going to have people that's going to be diehard for you. They're going to go in on subscribers who may try to challenge you, may try to down you. You're going to have your stands. You're going to have your fans that's going to be ride or die, that's going to protect you to the end. But your fans who love you and worship you, your subscribers who rock with you, who die hard for you, they cannot defend you for everything. They cannot protect you from everything. No matter how much they love you, no matter how much they cash out, no matter how much they go and comment under people's videos who are going against your narratives. Yeah, you got all this love, you got all the support, but your fans and your stands, they cannot protect your brand. They cannot protect your past. They cannot protect you from exposure. And a lot of the time, content creators, they make themselves targets because they just be doing too much. They be doing too much You keep going in, and what you have to realize, even when you go in on a specific group and the majority of your fans, they support the fact that you will go against that specific group. What you have to realize is the group you're attacking, there are still other people who don't feel the way you feel, and they don't support your narratives, and eventually it's not so much just the group that you attack that you have to worry about, but you also have to worry about those who still love or support the group that you are attacking. Okay, for instance, if I want to sit up here and talk about black men and preach this black men ain't shit day in, day out, of course I'm going to have a lot of brothers that's not going to rock with me, not going to support me. I'm going to have, a lot of brothers trolling and saying all type of disrespectful stuff, whatever. But that's not going to be my only problem. Not only am I pissing off just the black men that I degrade, but I'm going to be pissing off the people who do love and support the black men that I degrade. So this is where a lot of content creators, this is where they cockiness and arrogance screws them in the ass every time. Raw with no Vaseline, is because they're so busy looking at the love and support that they're getting. They're not focusing on the people that they are pissing off, the people who they are rubbing the wrong way. It does not matter how much love and support you get, but if you use your platform in a negative manner, when you're building it off a negative foundation, eventually it's going to come back to haunt you. This is why you have some content creators now that are losing their minds and not understanding why their channels are not getting the same amount of attention that they're used to it getting, because they're not understanding that your crown can always be snatched at any given moment. Yeah, you hot right now, but it's going to always be somebody that's going to come in and do everything they can to basically make your channel become obsolete. You have people who sit back and study and they analyze all of what you're doing right, all of what you're doing wrong, and then when it's their turn, they're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to do it this way. A lot of content creators are learning to remix, learning how to finesse, learning how to adorn um, from other content creators. And basically, they reach that level of where they overshadow those who they mimicked and remixed their style from. And it happens all the time. Look at these rappers, look at these athletes. Somebody can always come and switch up your game. They can learn and use and adopt your game and learn how to remix it and flip it and dress it up and make it look like you ain't never did it, but like like you've never done it. And a lot of content creators are the best, especially the ones who have been hot a long time. They can't understand it. They can't understand how here it is somebody else who the mimicked and copied off finesse their game. How is it they overshadow and overpower their success? Because what a lot of people don't understand is fame and popularity comes with an expiration date. Think about it. Everybody who was popular in high school, you run into them, they not that same hot popular jock. They not that same hot popular cheerleader. Fame comes with a expiration date. Now, this does not mean that you can't still be successful. Successful can last you a long time, but fame is something different. Success could still last you, even if fame does it, as long as you do the right thing with your success, you do the right thing with your money, you open other businesses, you do something else, and you don't stay stuck in one box because you done got comfortable with getting popular and earning clout off of that one box. You got to learn how to expand and do something different, or eventually you'll lose your audience. You keep talking about the same issues over and over and over, eventually you're going to lose some people. Fame comes with an expiration date. Don't matter how much you hit, and it's somebody that's gonna be younger than you, better than you, more good looking than you, that's gonna come along and adopt your content, your content material, and they're gonna finesse it and dress it and style it up in their own way, where your content will look like it ain't shit compared to how they done dressed it up and suited it up. So you got to be prepared that fame comes with an expiration date. And this is another downfall that a lot of content creators aren't that are successful are understanding, is that arrogance would make your platform fall even quicker. You have to keep in mind that no matter how many people are rocking with you, no matter how many people love you, no matter how many people support you, people are still people. People change like the weather. And all it takes is one mistake. And one, you piss off a few people enough, all it takes is for them to dig up something to expose you. Because eventually that's what tends to happen. When your arrogance and your cockiness, where you get to the point in which you have become so successful as a content creator, you feel like you can be disrespectful. You feel like you can be harsh. You feel like you so big to the point where you can't be brought down, to where you feel like ain't nobody got nothing on me. I'm the only one that got something on everybody. I can't be touched. I'm invincible. Nobody has the balls to target me. It's gonna always be somebody that's gonna have the balls to target you. And what tends to happen is when your arrogance gets the best of you, you think you can't be touched. So what ends up happening is a lot of these content creators, how their downfall comes is you don't cross all your T's and dot all your I's, because you don't become so big headed to where you don't feel like you got to be careful anymore. You feel like you can say what you want to say. You feel like you can do what you want to do. You feel like you can step on toes. You feel like you can hurt people's feelings. And then there come a point when you're going to stumble across the wrong person, because this world is too big to conquer everybody. It's going to be one that's going to be time for you. Like we all knew that one bully that everybody was afraid of. Everybody was afraid of that one bully in middle school and high school, till the bully got bullied or something happened to that bully to where that bully got crushed, to where they no longer had the power to go around terrorizing and torturing and tormenting other people, because even bullies have their day. Everybody has a day when your cockiness and your arrogance can often get the best of you, and it's called being too smart for your own good. And that's what tends to happen. And you have to realize the higher you climb up top, the less you're going to be able to see things for what they are. It's kind of like for instance, I just came from my cousin's wedding, and in Las Vegas, and I still have this phobia with planes. I mean, I done flew twice this year, and I still haven't gotten past my phobia, and it's a struggle for me. But I know I want to travel more, so it's something, that a phobia that I have to conquer. So I noticed as the plane was going up, and the world was the perception of the earth got smaller and smaller as the plane went up higher. So slowly when the plane goes up, you can still see traffic moving, you can still see cars moving, you can still see people moving. But the higher that plane went up in the sky, the less I was able, my vision became smaller, because I was so high in the sky, to where I couldn't see nothing that was going on the earth. All I saw was the mountains. Because when you're high, anybody who's flown planes know when you reach uh, a certain amount of feet, however many feet it is, because I'm not good with feet or whatever, you can't see nothing but clouds. You can't see nothing but plains and valleys and mountains. And that's how it is with fame. When you begin with success, with instant success, when you get so high, you can't see everything that's going on to the bottom. So it's kind of like when you're so high and destruction hits you as you are high. And I hate using this analogy, but this is the best way I can make y'all interpret what I'm saying. And it's like when you go high in the sky on that plane, and that plane has a malfunction, and you don't know the malfunction because you're high in the sky, and that malfunction tends to happen while you're flying, and that malfunction causes the plane to um, go down quickly, fast, and you notice how the plane will crash and burn because it was up so high. So the drop is so fast and so quick. And this is when it becomes a catastrophe because when that plane does make a drop, it crashed and burns because it was up so high. And that's the way a lot of content creators need to be mindful of with their success. No matter how high you are, anything can go wrong that can cause your success to derail, to fall, to drop, and crash and burn. And 9 times out of 10, when a plane hits the ground, you can't put the pieces back together. You can't regroup or recover. It's most cases it's pretty much a done deal. And that's the same way it is being a content creator. When you're up so high, you can't see all the snakes. You can't see all the people that have it in for you. You can't see all the people who want to ruin you. And you got to realize a lot of people put to throw the word hater around and say, well, y'all just hating on this man or hating on this woman because of their success or whatever. It's not even so much success. People just hate the arrogance, the attitude, and also the fact that what rubs people the wrong way is when you act like you forgot where you came from. And I think what a lot of content creators aren't understanding, if they would be more transparent with their faults and flaws, people would respect them more. When you want to keep talking about what other people need to work on, what other people need to fix, what other people need to do with their life, but you're not transparent enough to share your personal demons, to share things that you have experienced. Nothing wrong with saying, hey, before I became a high value man, I was a bum ass dude. Okay? I shitted on women. I took advantage of women. I let women support me and take care of me. You know how many men who have done stuff like that or are doing stuff like that, and they need brothers that are willing to be transparent and say, yeah, I was an ain't shit dude, but guess what? It's never too late to not be an ain't shit dude. A lot of content creators are doing their subscribers a disservice because they're trying to act like they had this shit all together all the time. And this is where exposure hurts a lot of content creators, because when you try to sit here and act like your shit never stunk, like you never been a fuck boy, you never been a fuck girl or whatever, and then when it comes out, now you have to keep reinventing yourself, or you got to keep ignoring it and act like people ain't speaking on it and people ain't calling you out on it. But the more you keep ignoring the skeletons that people keep bringing to the surface, there's going to come a point when they're going to dig up a bone so big you're not going to be able to hide it. You're not going to be able to walk past it. The problem with a lot of female and male content creators is they always want to talk about what everybody else needs to do, how everybody else needs to get this shit together, but they don't share their struggles. They only share certain struggles. They don't share the struggles in which they know people will probably look at them in a different light. A lot of content creators are becoming fugazi. They're only sharing the parts that they don't mind people knowing about them, because again, it's this arrogance that as long as people think I always got my shit together, they can't call me out on my shit. I could always beat black women down or beat black men down about they fuck ups, because nobody knows my fuck ups. I'm not sharing or exposing my fuck ups. And what tends to happen again is when you piss off enough of people, they're going to dig up your struggles. They're going to dig up your faults and flaws. Or if they can't dig it up, they'll just find whatever's wrong with you at that present time. They'll say something about your looks. They'll say you overweight, or you not attractive enough, or you too light, you too dark. They gonna find People will find something to attack you about. Once your arrogance gets the best of you, and you feel like you can say anything to anybody any kind of way, and you don't have to be humble. Being successful does not mean you don't have to be humble. You can still be a successful person, but you still need to be mindful with how you talk to people, your demeanor, your attitude. You have to be an approachable person. When you have too many people who feel like you're going to be on attack dog mode anytime they approach you, you're going to have people come to you already with bullets in their chamber. It's no different than, we all know that hood dude who always kept a gun on them, who always been a hot-headed person. Everybody knows that one hood dude, always hot-headed, hard to calm down, quick to be combative and want to fight. We all know one. And whenever other people know they have to come across or deal with a dude on that level, know what they do? They already have their bullets in the chamber, because they already know that they're dealing with a hothead. They're dealing with somebody who's always on attack mode, who's always combative. So what it does is it makes people who have to encounter them 20 times more readily able to conquer them, because they already know what you're about. And as a content creator, when you keep using the same strategy, you always attack dog. What it does is it makes people put their guard up high before they even approach you. Like, I know this dude is nasty, or I know this female got a nasty mouth. She don't care how she talk to people. So you make yourself become disrespected from the jump, because people already have this idea based on the way that you have treated your subscribers, based on the way you have treated people who have came to you for answers. It puts people constantly on defense. Just the moment they encounter you, they look for you to get out of pocket, because you have gotten out of pocket and been disrespectful so many times. They already ready. They already have their bullets in the chamber. They ready to shoot, because they know you coming with the drama. They know you coming with the nastiness, the arrogance, the cockiness, and they gonna be ready for you. And it's gonna come a point, no matter how much your fans boost your ego, your subscribers boost your egos and boost your pockets, you're going to cross the wrong person eventually that's going to get you right together. You know what I mean? You're not going to always be undefeated. Eventually somebody is going to knock you off your high horse. And if nobody knocks you off your horse in the YouTube game, people can knock you off your horse in your personal life. Your personal life. Yeah, even Floyd Mayweather, um, although he has been undefeated as a champion, as a boxer, there was personal issues in his life that he could not defeat. And there's no disrespect to him, but when one of the mother of his children passed away, that was something he could not defeat. His daughter being disrespected by a fuck boy, and she had a child from him. I mean, even with all his success, he couldn't even make his daughter successful. Life has a way of pinching you somewhere. You could be successful over here and be failing over there. You could be doing great over here and doing terrible over there. You're not going to have it going on all the way around. And sooner than later, all the people that's admiring you, or all the people that look up to you, eventually they're going to see your failures. They're going to see, no matter how successful you are in certain places, they're going to see that you're not doing too great in other areas. So all of these things contribute to the downfall of a content creator. Another thing is beefing with other content creators. Now, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, y'all. I cannot understand for the life of me why grown men or grown women that are content creators, why the only way y'all can find relevance is by throwing other content creators up under the bus. Can you not be great doing your own material? Why do you have to put other content creators' names in your titles? Why do you have to constantly go in and bash other content creators? Are you not comfortable enough to have your own shine? The only way you could feel you feel relevant is by crushing and dragging another person's name. And to me, that's basically simping. Everybody wants to throw simping around like a collection plate at a Methodist church, but it's a lot of simping going on in the black YouTube sector. People is simping off other content creators. You have to constantly bring up a content creator who you feel is the enemy to a specific group of people who you're trying to appeal to. Again, because what has happened is we're straying away from originality. It's all about popularity. So it's sad that you have content creators now, they can only find relevance by dragging the top dogs or either kissing the ass of the top dogs. Because that's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm starting to see a lot of content creators do. They either bashing the content creators who are more popular than them, or either they are sucking up to the content creators that are more popular than them. And that's why, I'm cool. I understand that I don't expect my channel to flourish overnight, because I'm not in the business of looking for co-signers. I'm not looking for a popular content creator to co-sign what I do. And I'm not up here in my content shouting out and giving recognition and only showing admiration to the top-notch content creators. So I get it. I know my success is going to be slow, but at the same time, it's going to be authentic, because the dangerous part about giving too much clout to people who are successful, what are you going to do when they do something very disappointing that tarnishes their character? And you have already associated yourself with that person, because, again, you don't know how these people live behind closed doors. What are you going to do when your favorite content creators who you give admiration and praises to, they do something dumb, or they get caught up in some type of scandal or something like that? What are you going to do? You're going to try to take back all of what you said? Now you're looking like a traitor. Now you're looking flaky. You're looking shady. This is why I don't jump on a bandwagon with nobody, because people, you only know them. You only know what people present. Basically, you have a lot of content creators, they are salesmen. They know how to sell themselves to make people trust them. There's no different than going to a car dealership and you have a salesman. You may have two different salesmen. You have one that knows how to finesse and make any car you get make you feel like that car is the top of the line. My salesman, the one that I always dealt with at my particular Toyota dealership, he is one of the most successful salesman at that particular Toyota location. His name is Eric Williams, by the way. Anybody's interested in getting a vehicle to the Toyota in Savannah, Georgia, off of Abercorn. Not Chatham Parkway, he's off of Abercorn. But I study him and I notice how he knows how to finesse customers. He was giving me the same line every year. Now, when I got a 2013 from him, he was like, man, you need to get to 2016, man. 2016, it has all the whistles and bells. It has the sunroof. It has a leather interior. It has this, it has that, it has that. Okay, so when 2016 came up, I traded my car out. I traded my 2013 for 16. Then when I got to 16, he gonna tell me, oh, the 2017, man, this 2016 ain't got nothing on that. 2017, now it has the Bluetooth, it has the this, it has the that. He made it sound better than the last car I had. I said, well, you say that about every car. Every car is always better and got more of this and got more features and only certain amount of miles on here and blah blah blah. You got people that are natural born salesmen. They know how to sell you. They know how to say what you want to hear, even if it's bullshit. But if it's going to get them to the next level, they're going to do that. So you have a lot of content creators, they're not being confident in their own craft, so they got to borrow the success and hope that the popular content creator is kind enough to pay the recognition back in return. They have to hope the content creator that has over 300,000 subscribers says they names at least one time so he can at least borrow or lend some of his subscribers, because basically that's what a lot of this YouTube vultures, YouTube leeches, that's what they're doing. They're borrowing success from one another. They're borrowing recognition. Everybody got to shout out or mention a big name on their channel. And if you cool with that person who has a big name, that's more kudos for you. And I get it. YouTube is a hustle. It's no different than, a business. You want to get in good with the CEO. You want to get in good with the executive director. You want to get in good with those who got a lot of power, who got a lot of authority, because you dealing with people who got more authority. That's the better chances for you um, to gain success by getting put on through the people that have who basically have a lot of pull. So I'm going to be doing more series about the downfall of the content creator, because I feel it needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to be discussed. It's a lot of clout chasing going on, a lot of YouTube vultures. It's YouTube is now starting to become more artificial. I've never seen so many content creators get so desperate to the point to where um, they basically acting like little high school girls. Like, that's how it was in high school. All the plain girls want to get in with the popular girls. It just shows how much lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence, that a lot of these dudes and females that are content creators act like they got. They really don't have it. Confidence means that you're willing to stay to the bottom and crawl to get your success. You're not trying to get on with the known. You're not trying to shout out and give people titles, and you're not beefing with other content creators. You just basically staying in your own lane. Yeah, the success gonna be slow, but guess what? It's less drama. There's less drama that comes behind it. A lot of y'all are trying to get in good with content creators who y'all think are going to help your content flourish. But what are you going to do when that person gets caught up in a scandal? What are you going to do when that person gets exposed? When it's all skeletons come out of the closet and you done associated yourself with that person because you done praised them so much, you done gave them so much love, you done gave them so much recognition. What are you going to do? Because you don't know how people live behind closed doors. YouTube, to me, is just a lot of perpetrating. People could pretend to be something they're not because you don't know them in real life. And it's unfortunate that um, a lot of these brothers and sisters that claim to be red pill and conscious, they're not even looking past the moment, down the future. They're looking at, hey, this person hot right now, so I'm gonna get on with them. I'm gonna be known with them. I'm gonna shout them out. And you gonna pass the struggle channels, because again, we're not big enough to get you to where you're trying to go. But at the same time, it's a lot that comes with the territory of getting big. The bigger you get in the YouTube game, people are looking to sabotage you. And definitely when you get on with somebody who you swear everybody likes, but a lot of people are not that crazy about that person like you think. Let me tell you something. Once people start digging in your past, you already better start watching yourself, because I've seen people become successful and you ain't see nobody digging in their past like that. When people are digging in your past, basically you pissing a lot of people off. Because if people genuinely like you for you, they're not trying to go way back and dig up old puzzles. You know, for instance, Kobe Bryant, he was successful. He was successful even before his scandals. Because people respected him for his success, everybody ain't tried to dig up, you know, too much of his past. You know, of course, when he passed, people tried to bring up old dirt, but for the most part, nobody intentionally went looking for stuff on him. Nobody intentionally went looking for stuff, you know, on certain rappers, certain people like Denzel Washington. Nobody intentionally went digging up their past because these individuals, they was humble with their success, and they didn't just attack and didn't just address a certain group of people. They knew how to appeal to everybody. And the problem with a lot of these content creators, y'all don't know how to appeal to everybody. You want to attack a certain group because you feel like that's going to win you over, but the very thing that you're doing, that you're trying to attack, could be the very thing that can hurt you. Because it may come a point when a group of people may get together and say, you know what, we're going to flag this dude. We're going to make him lose every channel. We're going to make this broad lose every channel. You know, it's going to get to that point because people going to start getting fed up with you constantly attacking a certain group of people. Even Wendy Williams, as popular as she was, we all know that for a living, Wendy Williams is a gossip, celebrity gossip. That's what she does. That's how she makes her living. You know, that was she known for. That's what made her be successful. But baby, when the grits hit the fan and everybody found out her husband Kevin Hunter was living foul, people was dragging it through the mud. All the celebrities she talked about was laughing at her. All the people she poked out and made fun of about their relationships, they all was having a field day. That's the part where you got to be more careful. Because the moment people get anything on you, because you've been on attack dog mode for a specific group, the moment they find anything on you, they're going to use it against you. And these days, if they can't find nothing, they'll just make up some shit. And because people are so easy to deceive, people believe it. You know, but I'm going to be doing some more series on the downfall of the content creator again because I just really feel like the downfall of most successful content creators. That's what it's called. Because I really feel like a lot of content creators that are successful, they're not understanding the very thing that people are loving them for is going to be the very thing that people are going to despise them for eventually. You just have to be mindful. You got to be humble with your success. You have to balance. Don't keep attacking the same group of people. Don't think you're so big that you can't get brought down. You just have to be mindful. But we're going to be discussing more and more. This is just part one. I'm going to do a part two on my segment, the downfall of most successful content creators, part one. So y'all be on the lookout for part two. We're going to get into this. We're going to discuss more about this. So again, y'all, I want to appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging out with me, supporting my channel. If you haven't already, ladies, please make sure you subscribe to my Mocha's Ladies Lounge, my channel specific for women only. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Please, before y'all leave, please take that second and hit that like button right now. It's not going to cost you anything. I swear. I'm not going to take nothing. There's no automatic draft. Nothing's going to be taken out your account. It's because you hit the like button, okay? So please make sure y'all take a second to do that. Please stay tuned for that part. Stay tuned for that part 2, because I'm going to be uploading that probably tomorrow. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth. I'm going to always make you off a slice of knowledge. Appreciate y'all, and please leave y'all a comment below. Let me know what y'all think about downfall of successful content creators. What are some points you would like to add that you think is going to also contribute to the downfall of these successful content creators? I'll be hollering at y'all soon. Take care. Be blessed.